As I've said, we have everything you could possibly want in a city our size except a functional arena. So last week, Jake Kincaid of the newly formed Hamilton County Growth Alliance made a case on my show for using the stadium tax money or some of that money to seed the build. And, of course, there'd be money from other sources as well. Unfortunately, that pitch is not going over well with members of the Hamilton County Commission, one of those being President Alicia Reece joining the show this morning. Happy Monday, Alicia. How are you?
Happy Monday. I'm doing great. And, you know, the presidency moves around, you know, like the merry-go-round. I've did my 2 years, so I'm not the president anymore.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I went back the other way. Yeah. I just out of habit over the last 2 years of speaking to you. I just instantly think Alicia Reece president's Denise Driehaus now. So it goes back and forth like a ping pong ball, the job nobody wants. Nonetheless, Alicia, it was a trick question to start. I wish you a happy Monday. There is no such thing as a happy Monday. It's just Monday. Now, all right, so let's get into this. I know you've been vocal about this over the weekend in particular. I couldn't wait to get you on because you give good radio. I know you know that. This is they're members of Cincinnati City Council. I had Seth Walsh on the show. He said, yeah, we ought to maybe be looking at that. I said, would you be willing to work with county commissioners like Alicia and Denise and Stephanie? He said, absolutely. So it would be nice if both the city and the county were on the same page. This weekend, I was off on Friday because of government issues. I had to go to Detroit to get a pass to travel out of the country, basically, with global entry. So I had 3 minutes I spent in Detroit getting that. I had to drive all the way up there. Nonetheless, we stayed and kind of last minute got a hotel in Toledo. My wife got tickets to see Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan. We had great seats, pretty cheap. And I look at this arena, Huntington Bank Center, I'm like, this is gorgeous. You could hear the comics. It was easy in, easy out, center of town. Toledo is getting Jim Gaffigan and Jerry Seinfeld. We can't get that. I look at Cleveland, who has the NCAA regional tournament and part of March Madness. They've got basketball. Indianapolis has the combine. We get nothing because we don't have an arena that would cater to that. It's way long overdue. And finally, somebody from the community stepping up going, look, we got to change things. We got to change the narrative. Let's get a damn arena done. We're getting, as you know, and you're behind this, which would be the newly remodeled Duke Energy Convention Center, which is coming along really well. We're going to get a signature hotel along with that. Well, why not dream big, Alicia? What's wrong with us?
Well, first of all, let me just say that 218,338 people elected me. I had to go through an election.
Yes.
And one of the things that I heard from people was that the people feel as though they lose their power. Once the people get elected, we put what you call unelected people who they don't know who they are, and they begin to run the city and the county. And if you don't like it, you can't get to them.
Yeah.
And so they run these things about taking the politicians out of it, and it sounds good. I'm a marketer. It sounds good as a buzzword.
Right.
But the reality is you're taking the power away from those who elect the people because they can't get to these groups. So a lot of these groups are popping up, and people are mad about that now. They say, oh, you know, in Washington, they've got somebody that's unelected making decisions, and people are angry because they can't, if they don't like the decision, they can't have any power. And so one of the things is the tactics of how we've been doing things around here in Cincinnati and the county. As I've talked to people throughout the county, that's what they didn't like. They voted for, went to the polls, voted for two stadiums in 1996.
Right.
But then they got behind the closed doors and they put a terrible lease together that we are still in. I mean, I wasn't even in politics during that, and I'm still trying to get out of a lease. The Bengals ownership lease where the taxpayers pay 96% and they only pay 4%. And so people are not liking that, but they could go to the polls and vote that person that they thought was responsible out.
Yep.
So one of the things I've been fighting against is what you call that shadow government. A group of people who you don't know who they are.
The lobbyists, right?
And
we hate the lobbyist class. I get that.
It's more than the lobbyists. It's more than the lobbyists. We don't even know, even the elected officials don't know. I don't even know who are the people on this growth alliance who is going to take taxpayer money. Yeah, and they're going to dictate. And Sloan, you had an idea. You said, hey, what about having the arena on the riverbanks?
Right.
Well, in their thing, they're saying you cannot do it. Now, who are they to tell Sloan that we can't even look at this idea of a arena on the banks, and we're talking about public money. And so I think the issue here is, I'm not against an arena, as you know.
I know.
But the big question that everybody wants to know is who is going to pay for it? And what I've been seeing is that you have these unelected boards, and then they say, we can't tell you who is behind it. We're behind the curtain. We can't tell you that. But what we're going to do is force you to do something. Even though you've been elected by the people, you have to be accounted to the taxpayer. We're going to force you to do something, and we're going to tell you where it's going to be. Mm-hmm. We're going to have the power. Mm-hmm. And I just can't do that to the 218,000 people who voted for me.
All right.
Now, here's the other thing.
All right, real quick.
If the city is going to do it, can I say this?
Yeah, please.
The city, they jumped up, not all of them, but 2 council members jumped up and said, we got to do it. No problem. City Hall, you fund it. But you can't come down to the county and tell us what to fund, because we got a great record of all that we have done. Mm-hmm. And in addition, I'm fighting to try to reduce the property taxes. I mean, I was just at the building, a lady was crying going up the elevator because she can't pay her property taxes. I was just in Colerain Township trying to get something to eat, and they were stopping me and said, please continue to fight. I mean, I can't go anywhere without people saying stand up.
Yeah, I get it. Alicia Reece, on that, though, I guess the other way to look at this is, all right, they don't have the power. You hold the power. When those in power, not saying necessarily you, but as a body, it's like, wait, we've needed a new arena for as long as I've been here. Heritage Bank Center has sucked. It's a known secret. It's a known commodity. We need a new arena. It's too hard to get to. It's not comfortable. It doesn't accommodate shows in the sense of the acoustics of it. It's good for hockey, but that's about it. And enough people have gone, and the surveys say that people want a new arena. And so finally, after years and years and years of inaction and no one moving forward and threatening what's going on at the Heritage Bank Center, a private group steps up and says, let's start to push power brokers like yourself into getting an arena. Is this because, not threatening your authority rather, but because there has been no movement on an arena? All the conversation, all the money, all the discussion is always about the Bengals, the Bengals, the Bengals, the Bengals. There's no oxygen left in the financial room to talk about an arena at this point for the reasons you mentioned and many others as well. And so instead of seeing this as a challenge to your authority, should it be looking at the people are finally angry enough in the community going, how about an arena instead of all the money going to Paycor? Isn't that fair?
Yeah. Well, I think it's not a challenge about me on a personal level. When you talk about a survey, there was a survey. It was called an election, and the people voted for us, and there were some things that they said that they wanted. And my job is to go down there and do the things that the 218,000 people said they wanted. One, they said they want to get out of this 94. Right now, we're still in a deal. We got to get out of it. We don't have a choice. Yep. The voters went and voted, and they voted for this funding to go to 2 stadiums. You're getting ready to have opening day. Right. I got a Great American Ballpark will be coming up for a renewal. The Bengals is for a renewal. We haven't even gotten through that, and we're obligated. I didn't obligate myself. This was obligated by the taxpayers of Hamilton County, and they want to get out of this particular deal. Now, we haven't even gotten out of that deal. According to Jeff Aludo, we haven't paid the debt off there. I mean, we got a lot of debt, and we're trying to get out of it. What I don't want is to come on the backs of the taxpayers. Like I said, I'm not against the arena. If you're a private group, you come up with the private money. Now, Heritage Arena is not the greatest. We all agree. Terrible. But when it was built, it was privately funded. Right. It pays property taxes. Right. Now you're wanting we're going to switch now and have the taxpayers pay for it. And then plus you got to pay a ticket to go there. Right. So I'm just saying right now we got a lot of requests. I mean, you just outlined them. We got affordable housing. People ain't got nowhere to stay. A lady called me from Amberley Village, tracked me down, said I never miss my property taxes, but my God, I can't afford this. Right. I mean, this is the kind of, a gentleman, construction worker stopped me I was walking down on the banks by Smale Park. He stopped me and said, give them hell. Stand up. We don't need to be paying for all this. So it's not about the idea. It's about who's going to pay for it. Right. And what happens is these people come out with these ideas and they say, well, this is a great idea, but I want the government to pay for it. And that's where...
Well, that's America, though. We want stuff. We want someone else to pay for it. I don't care who you are, where you are in America, what station of life you are, how much money you do or don't make. I want stuff. You should pay for it. That's the American way, Alicia.
Well, Grandma says she wants to hold on to a house that she's paying for and be able to stay in it. And the property taxes are jumping through the roof. And a lot of people who are recommending stuff don't even live in the county. And then they live outside the county and say, we live outside the county because the property taxes are too much.
Correct.
But by the way, we want to keep making the people pay for it. And at some point, it's just like, I mean, you're a parent. At some point, you got to say, hold on. We've got to have a budget. We've got to look at this properly. So it's not about Alicia Reece. It's about the people having the power, right? And they want to know who's going to pay for it. Now, if City Hall is going to pay for it, I've been at City Hall before, and there was times when City Hall paid for everything. So that might be something that City Hall needs to lead without the county. The county, we got 49 municipalities. I want to be clear, Sloan. When I got elected, I had to go to 49 municipalities. I am not the downtown county commissioner. I've got to get some stuff out in Anderson Township, too. I got to get some stuff out in Forest Park, too. I got to get some stuff out in Springfield Township, too.
Yes, ma'am.
I've got some areas that need help, too, and they've got issues. And so I just can't be just downtown. I'm already fighting to get out of this bad bingo deal. We ain't out of it yet. We don't have a new lease. It's still 94% to 6%. We got opening day coming, but eventually we're going to have to do something in Great American Ballpark. We're on the hook. And according to Jeff Aludo, the money is almost gone. And so the next thing will be, well, we need to raise taxes. And I want to be real clear. I am not going to support raising taxes on the people. So, yes, somebody wants a Rolls Royce. But when you walk into the dealership, they bring the paperwork out. They say, now, who's going to pay for this? That's the question. It's not the idea.
I get it.
It's who is going to pay. And then, Sloan, you had an idea, and they shut your idea down. They said, this group said, let me tell you, we want the taxpayers to pay for it. We want to tell you what to do. We're not going to tell you who we are. And by the way, you cannot put it on the Ohio River.
Well, it's a group. The group doesn't want
it.
Well, it's pretty close. And it's a group. The group was formed because of the vacuum created by the fact that.
Who are the groups? Well, do you know their names?
I have no idea. I would speculate that they have to.
But don't speculate. I don't want to throw people.
I don't know. I would guess if they
can't take the taxpayer money and don't have no faces.
I understand that. What I'm saying though is like we're not there yet on that. I get because there's a power vacuum there. No one is willing to go, hey, we need a new arena. We got the convention center. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does make sense, but we're not going to maximize the ROI on the convention business.
They don't even have a name. They don't even have a hotel.
We need a new arena.
They don't have the name. They haven't even broken ground on the hotel. Every week they've got another idea, and the idea has to be paid on the backs of the taxpayers. I'm saying go on with your ideas.
Right.
I don't like Heritage either, but Heritage is privately, they put their own money up.
I understand that.
I need somebody else to do what they did.
Well, we know that day and age is gone, but we're going to get a little public money. I know, for example, hold on. TQL, for example, TQL has looked at, hey, they did TQL right. I think they spent $250 million in TQL. $65 million was public money. There's got to be a public spend when you do these big projects for obvious reasons, infrastructure and the like. When we redo the lease with
infrastructure is different, Sloan.
I get
what
it.
I'm saying is TQL, and I wasn't there for the TQL deal, so I can't talk all about it. But they came out immediately with, here's some money. What we're having now is a group. This group says Growth Alliance. It does not say arena. So we don't want to become, this is the new way we do business. You go out here, the taxpayers go and vote. They vote people in office. Then here comes an unelected board who comes in and says, what we're going to do is tell you what to do with the money. That's called shadow government. And we can't go to shadow government because it takes the power away from the voters. And I'm just telling you what the voters told me.
But does that mean their idea is wrong? Does that mean their idea is wrong? Well, you mentioned we need a new arena. There's no doubt about it. When you redo the new lease deal and this, are we able to carve some money out for other infrastructure, for other projects like an arena? Can we do that in the future?
What I'm saying is we got a debt, according to Jeff Aludo right now, that has not been paid on the two stadiums that we already have. You hear every year, I'm on your show every year, advocating for the 30% property tax rollback. It's only been done, 4 times to the homeowners because they said they can't afford it. And I've been forcing them, but they say each year we can't afford it. If you can't afford to give the taxpayers a break, then how can you afford now to build something else out of that same fund? And all I'm saying is it's time for the private. If you come with a private idea, you should come with some private money. And then my whole point is maybe the city has it. And if the city has it, then the city should lead it, but they got to lead it with the money. They can't lead with an idea and then run down to Hamilton County and think they're going to run an election against Hamilton County, because then I got to speak up on some things I don't think is going too good down at the city. But I stay out of the city because that's not
Lord
my job.
help us. You guys get along. You two, by the way, the city and the county, you guys get along like Drake and Kendrick.
Oh, yeah. No, we get along. We get along because the city is in the county, and I've got multiple cities. But I think what is very important to your listening audience, one, I heard from people, and this is what I'm hearing from people. This is not me.
Yep.
This is what I'm hearing from people. They said, listen, we can't afford any more higher taxes. Second, I heard from people, hey, it's more than just downtown Cincinnati. What about out here where I live at?
Sure.
In these other municipalities?
52 neighborhoods, right?
Coleraine Township want to know. Springfield Township want to know. Lady from Emily Village right now struggling to pay her taxes. So it has to be a balance. And let me just say, for me, I'm not interested in faceless. I don't do business with faceless people. If you got the list, Sloan, let me know.
Yeah.
And I think the people should know who are the people that are getting their
fair enough. And I think in due time we find out. There's nothing better than Alicia Reece on a Monday. I'm ready to go at it all week long now because I'm fired up. You got me fired up as always, girl. Alicia, I gotta go. All the best. I know. Here we go. Here we go. Thanks again.
We do have an Great American Ballpark,
we do.
And you can go in there and you can watch a game. Let's go.
All right, we'll see you there, Alicia. Have a good one. Appreciate it.